welcome back to today's episode where we'll be discussing another incredibly important topic. Okay, it looks like we always say that, but today's topic is raising resilient children, the role of faith in child development. So we want to note the crucial role that faith plays in the development of these children. And when we talk about raising children, there has been so much emphasis on education, social skills, even physical health. Okay, but what about their spiritual foundation? Because sometimes you see adults, they are so spiritual, and the children are so full of cartoons and all. So how does instilling faith-based values impact their emotional, cognitive, and behavioral growth? We need to explore how faith can shape children into well-rounded, resilient individuals who can navigate the challenges of life with strength, hope, and a sense of purpose. So it is important for us to, first of all, understand the importance of instilling faith-based values early on. The introduction of these values to children as early as possible, because as parents, guardians, or educators, we all want to raise children that are not only successful, but they are also resilient. They are able to handle challenges, they are able to bounce back from setbacks, and they can maintain hope in difficult situations. Those are the kind of things we have in mind, and it's also because it gives us peace as well. So faith can provide children with grounding foundation that supports this development. And when I say faith, I'm referring to something that's more than just religious practices. It's not ephemeral. Faith-based values that encompass morals, that encompass ethics, and a deep understanding of core principles like compassion, gratitude, humility, even forgiveness. This is what we're talking about. So these values can serve as a guide, some form of guiding light for these children. It helps them understand the world. It helps them make decisions, and it also helps to form strong, positive identities. Okay, so with looking at it, we want to know in what way does faith-based teachings, faith-based values do this in the lives of children? How exactly does it contribute to a child's development? Okay, first of all, let's look at a child's emotional development. Faith plays a very crucial role in emotional regulation, for growth, for living, for balance, whether for adults or even for children. And we're saying that, how does it work for children? Faith helps them regulate their emotions. One of the key teachings in many faith traditions is the concept of hope. And hope is when we have faith that there's something bigger than ourselves. There's something that's worth taking the right decisions for, even when things seem uncertain or difficult sometimes. Faith, hope helps us believe that it will work better, it will work out for our good in the end. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, there's a treasure at the end of the rainbow. Okay, that's from Jake and the Neverland Pirate. Am I correct? All right, let's go on. So when children grow up understanding this concept, they develop the ability to face adversity with optimism. They are more likely to recover emotionally from challenges like failures, like losses, like disappointment. So the values that they learn from the teachings of faith will support them in this regard. Also, faith teaches children the essence of prayer, the essence of meditation or reflection. And this can serve as some form of emotional outlet, when children are going through issues and they take it up in prayer, or they meditate on the word of God, or they reflect on, okay, there was a time that I was in a situation and God helped me. I know He can help me now, or I've seen this before, I've been through it. So all these things can serve as emotional outlets, and these practices can actually calm their minds, helps them process emotions it gives them tools to cope with stress and anxiety. When we equip children with faith-based teachings that encompasses humility, forgiveness, trust, and all these things that we've been discussing, it's like giving them a toolbox for their emotional well-being. It's like a toolbox for mental health that they can carry with them throughout life anywhere they go. So yeah, faith contributes to their emotional well-being. Now let's look at another aspect of children's growth, and that is cognitive development. When we think of faith, we don't always associate it with cognitive development, but the two are deeply connected. Faith-based education, whether it is through family teachings or religious institutions, all will kind of encourage critical thinking, problem solving, and reflection. Because when we finish telling the children the Bible stories, we want to ask them questions. What did you gain from it? Why do you think this happened? Who said it? Who did that? All these are helping them in their cognitive development. Okay, so when children engage in faith discussions, whether it's interpreting stories, understanding moral lessons, or asking big questions about life, they are developing cognitive skills. I remember when I was a teenager, I used to disturb my children's church teacher. Then I always ask him, so where is heaven? So where is God? So if God is in heaven, so why does he go dark? All sort of funny questions, until my own daughter started asking me, Mommy, is water wet? I said, excuse you? She said, I said, is water wet? I said, let's ask Google whether water is wet or not. So when children engage in questioning, it helps their cognitive development. So in many faith traditions now, children are taught stories about perseverance, kindness, and wisdom. Then they learn to analyze situations, draw moral conclusions, reflect on their own behaviors based on the stories they have heard, and this helps them develop strong decision-making skills and an ability to weigh consequences. All these are essential parts of cognitive development. Plus, children raised with faith, they are often taught the value of lifelong learning. The idea that growth and wisdom come with time and experience. They always come up in all those stories and teachings. So this mindset encourages curiosity. It encourages open-mindedness. It helps them approach challenges with the mindset that they can learn and grow from any situation. It's not something that should take them out completely. Another aspect, so we are talking about the cognitive, affective, psychomotor, and all that. So we're discussing now the behavioral development. How does faith support children's behavioral development? The role that faith plays in helping our behavior is undeniable, from childhood to adulthood. So whether we're children or we're adults, it's undeniable. At the core of many faith tradition is a code of conduct. Like you'd be like, no, he's a Christian. It looks like you're a true Christian. Why are we saying that? Because we're seeing things that guide behaviors of a particular sect, a particular faith. And so there are expectations. So at the core is a code of conduct that guides children on how to behave. We have teachings on how to treat others. Love your neighbor as yourself. All right? Do unto others how you want others to do to you. All these are codes. They are teaching human relations, how to treat others, how to live with integrity. A diligent hand shall be made fat. All right? And so on and so forth. So when children are raised with these clear moral frameworks, they are more likely to, develop strong ethical behaviors. For example, now, values like honesty, empathy, and responsibility, they are often instilled through faith-based teachings. All right? When you read about the story of the prodigal son, how he had to look at himself and say, you know what, I'm going to retrace my steps and, do the right thing and all that. Okay? These values, they influence how children interact with their peers, how they interact with adults. Honor your father and your mother. What other things? They influence how they interact in a community, because we learn to respect others, we make ethical choices, and they take responsibility for their actions. Faith-based teachings help children to learn to take responsibility for their actions. So what's more, children who grow up with faith, they are often surrounded by a supportive community, where it is healthy and is not just a toxic gathering of people. It's actually supportive for children, whether it's through a religious congregation or a family unit that practices together. This community, they offer children accountability. When we say part of the way we train children is by shaping, is by modeling, we see all these things come up in communities, and children learn from adults who are having results based on certain behaviors. So it also gives them a sense of belonging, which further reinforces positive behaviors in them. So community life and all that will help in developing positive behaviors in children. Now, faith builds resilience in every one of us. Faith builds resilience in children. So when we focus on resilience, the ability to bounce back from hardship, faith teaches children the powerful concept of hope and purpose. It is through faith that children learn that setbacks are not permanent, and there is a larger meaning to life beyond whatever immediate struggles they see themselves or their families are going through. Without faith, how would children, because most of the time when families are going through hardship, nobody even considers the children as deeply as they should. Nobody helps them resolve the questions that are springing up in their minds concerning the situation, So having this sense of hope through faith teachings will give children inner strength when they face challenges, whether it is academic struggles, social issues, personal losses, relationship issues. Children face all these things. And like we said, it is the responsibility of parents to help children in socializing, in terms of work, in terms of love, in terms of friendship. And through faith teachings, we can achieve this. So faith provides children with a network of support and encouragement. I think when we look at the importance of faith in child development, it will actually help us correct certain errors that children complain of because they belong to a faith community where they feel there's so much expectation placed on them, where they feel it can be intrusive, where they feel they can't even express their own freedom, or, and so on and so forth. When we realize that faith provides children with a network of support and encouragement, we want them to achieve that rather than anything that is detrimental to their well-being. So whether it's family members, religious leaders, or friends from faith-based communities, children raised in faith traditions, they have multiple layers of support, and that's how it's supposed to be. And they learn early, that they are not alone in whatever situation they find themselves. So they have both spiritual and community resources to lean on. And of course, the power of gratitude is another thing that faith teaches children. We always count your blessings, name them one by one. Children learn to count their blessings. Children learn to give thanks. Children learn to appreciate what they have. They learn to focus on positive aspects of life, and when they develop this mindset, it helps them to learn to be resilient, and it helps them to maintain a positive attitude even in difficult times. So for parents who want to raise children that are resilient, we can actually adopt certain... Okay, let me give us some tips that we can actually use to encourage our children in resilience. And the first tip is we need to lead by examples. We mentioned something like modeling. We mentioned modeling, that we need to live by examples, okay? Children learn by watching their parents. So to demonstrate friendship, to demonstrate love, to demonstrate kindness, forgiveness, gratitude, parents need to show it, and children will learn it. Also, we should encourage open conversations as parents. Let them ask questions about faith and spirituality. Let them discuss moral lessons. Let them reflect on how whatever it is you're teaching them is applicable to them. Sometimes they will tell you it's not relevant to them, and it should be okay. We should create rituals or practices, whether we have some form of family prayer time, we attend religious service, or setting aside time to reflect, to give thanks. Like for me, growing up, every Tuesday was our Thanksgiving day. So on Tuesdays, when you are to lead prayer or whatever we do, the only thing you hear from our mouth is, Father, we thank you. And with thanks till we sleep. So create some rituals that children can learn from. It helps children internalize whatever values we are trying to teach. We should provide a supportive community for children. Whatever faith we are practicing, let us provide a support for these children. Surround them with a community that reinforces values, the values that we're teaching. Not a community that is helping them see the feet of clay that we all carry about. And it can provide extra guardians, and it can also serve as role models for them. So we should teach resilience through faith stories and personal experiences. We should be vulnerable to let children know that, okay, we also have had to struggle in some aspects, but we came out stronger. And they know that whatever it is that they are going through is not peculiar to them. All right. So on this note, I think we have practically analyzed how faith teachings can help children develop resilience and how it helps them in their overall development. At the end of the day, raising resilient children means giving them tools that go beyond academic knowledge, social skills, cognitive and all. But it's about providing them with emotional, cognitive, behavioral support and framework that are rooted in strong values and faith teachings that have deep influence on them, so to say. So when we nurture spirituality in our children, when we nurture their spiritual life, we're not just teaching them how to cope with life's challenges. We're giving them a sense of purpose. We are giving them a sense of hope and inner strength that will carry them, through the highs and lows of life. So it is important that we inculcate faith teachings into every aspect of their lives and let them learn these values through their faith, because it strengthens whatever it is that they believe. On this note, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, comment, share it, like it, and please let other parents who might also benefit from this insight have access to it by you sharing it. So until next time, keep nurturing those beautiful young minds and hearts. Bye-bye.